Inconsistently consistent.
Hello, and welcome to Inconsistently Consistent, the podcast where we definitely prepare. I'm one of your hosts, Melanie.
And I'm the other host, Rachel. One of us was prepared, one of us was not. Take a 50-50 chance to guess who was what.
They'll never guess.
They'll never guess. No, they'll never
It's a
guess.
big secret.
It's such a huge secret.
M. Night Shyamalan level twist.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll come clean. It was me. I forgot we said we were recording, and then Rachel texted me and was like, I sent the link, and I was like, uh-oh. And I was supposed to curate Reddit stories to surprise Rachel with that are all therapist themed, and so I did just this second. So I cannot be held liable for any of these stories being terrible, but I know 2 are good. Because I did have them prepared before this episode. I was like 20% prepared.
Yeah, she was.
But 100% ready. Doesn't make sense, but if you think about it long enough, you could probably make it make sense.
I prefer not to think about it, just because brain go burr.
Brain go burr.
But also, Melanie, you also have some exciting news.
I do. The sequel to Toymaker, The Lost Lamb, is officially published. It is out. My baby is out in the world. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad we invited a whole studio audience to this one episode.
I know. I invited them just for this because I totally planned this in advance.
Yes, I'm very excited. I just bought my copy of my own book. And I bought everybody's copies, really, because I sell them.
Yes.
And I have to pay the printer. Why do we call it pay the piper in that phrase? Because I've never paid a piper, but I have paid a printer.
That's a good question.
Hmm.
I don't have the answer, unfortunately.
But aren't therapists supposed to have all the answers, Rachel?
Oh, honey, baby girl, no. We give you the tools so you can come to your own answers of what will be best for you.
Whereas lawyers, we just give you magic 8-ball answers, which is it
Exactly.
depends.
Yeah.
Ask again later.
Yeah.
Ask
You're
again
like,
when your bill is paid.
shake you, pay your lawyers.
Lawyers gotta eat. And rent ain't cheap.
Life ain't cheap.
Yeah, existing is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we could talk about that stuff forever. But what we should talk about is that you are a super cool, awesome, super real therapist, even though I made that sound like it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what a great idea if you reacted to Reddit stories that were about therapists and therapy.
Yeah.
And we got your actual opinion.
My actual legit licensed therapist opinion.
Yes, because you paid a lot of money for that master's.
I paid so much money.
Yeah, we need to get every penny out of it that we can.
I also paid for my registration, and I got an email from the college the other day being like, oh yeah, we're upping the professional liability you need. So you need to get the minimum now. It was 1 million, now it's 2 million. And and they're like, I don't have to change it now, but they're like, when you do your renewal next year, you'll have to provide proof of the 2 million. And I'm like, you know what? I might as well just get 5 million at this point. Just say, fuck it.
It's like you're at an auction bidding higher and higher.
Yeah. I mean,
Eh.
I think it doesn't hurt because when I do eventually get my Canada designation, probably having the 5 million will, you know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. It can't hurt to go higher,
Mhm.
you know? Insurance is good.
You take me higher.
Don't get us copyright stricken.
To the place where blind men.
That was almost exactly like you played it. That's exactly how it sounds.
But yes, let me react. My
Mhm.
body is ready.
Okay. I wanna start us off with the story that inspired this episode.
Mhm.
Am I the asshole if I report the couple's therapist that married my ex-boyfriend a year after our sessions with her? Just gonna let that sink in.
Huh. Hmm.
Pause for reaction.
Mm. Mm. Mhm.
I can tell you already have takes.
I do
You
have
have thoughts.
takes. I have thoughts already, but I will allow you to continue.
Mhm. Okay. So this is like it was originally posted and then this is posted again by somebody else or something.
Mhm.
'Cause I think they took it down. But the internet said, "No, it's going back up."
The internet said, "No, we need this for people to
Yeah.
see."
So, in 2017, I, F25, saw a couples therapist with my then boyfriend, M36. After 3 sessions with her, I refused to return due to her blatant flirtatious behavior and extremely judgmental attitude toward me, which my ex-boyfriend called me delusional for pointing out. She had told me that I seemed too immature, not ready for therapy or a serious relationship. The whole thing was focused on my ex-boyfriend and his complaints about me. She never asked about my feelings or perspective in the relationship. We broke up about 2 months after the sessions, but I stayed living with my ex-boyfriend until November. Once after I moved out, I had to return to our old apartment to get mail. This was in December, and that was the first time I saw the therapist with my ex. They happened to be getting ready to go out on his motorcycle, and were both wearing full face motorcycle helmets. But I knew, in all caps, from her body type and hair that it was her, along with my instincts, which suspected something was going on the whole time. But nevertheless, I moved on with my life. I just found out yesterday my ex got married due to a friend telling me about a photo he posted on Facebook. The photo was of him and my ex-therapist celebrating their 1-year wedding anniversary. I found her Facebook with the name change, and sure enough, they got married September of 2018 or earlier. That's just when she posted the wedding photos. This was less than a year after the breakup with with me ex and barely over a year after our sessions with her ended. I am considering filing a complaint with the American Counseling Association. My friends and mental health counselors I know say I have enough evidence. I'm not upset that my ex moved on. So have I. I thank the universe every day that I'm no longer with that narcissist. However, I feel deeply disturbed to find out he married our therapist, especially remembering all the harmful stuff she said to me in the sessions, which, to be honest, really mess with my head. I fear coming off as a bitter ex. Am I the asshole? Edit. My ex-boyfriend married our couples therapist a year after her sessions with her. I'm not sure if it is too petty or bitter to report it to the ACA or if anything will ever come from it.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Um, not the asshole, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
I would report her personally.
Yeah, like
that would be my take.
2017 in therapy with her and the boyfriend and
Mhm.
like with this therapist. And then uh break up about 2 months after the sessions, and she stayed in living with the ex until November. We don't know when the breakup was though. And
Mhm.
so it was sometime before November. And she moves out in November. She goes back in December and sees who she thinks is the therapist. And then a year after the sessions, the therapist and the ex-boyfriend get married.
Mhm.
That's a very short turnaround, too.
Yeah, and it makes me think that there was probably something going on before that, considering the just kind of the stuff she said about the therapist, like very
Mhm.
flirtatious. That's not professional, first of all. That's also a huge ethics concern. Like,
Mhm.
there's also, I think I read somewhere, maybe it was in my own uh, standards of practice and ethics documents that you need to, like, it's not encouraged to be in a relationship with a former patient, like regardless if you stop seeing them, but if you do, I think it's like you gotta wait like 3 years before you do it.
Hmm. I didn't know there was like a time frame.
I could be misremembering that, but I feel like I read something about that where it was like, yeah, you have to wait a considerable amount of time before you kind of dive into that,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, it's all like power imbalance, right?
Yeah.
Is the concern. But like when I read anything, my first my first inclination is don't trust the narrator,
Mhm.
right? As someone who, I'm a lawyer for a day job, which
Mhm.
is everybody's probably lying and try to figure out and get to the truth. But
Mhm.
then also I write mysteries, and so I'm constantly lying to the readers for a living as well, and twisty and turning. So I'm always like, don't trust the narrator. But the fact that yes, she could be misperceiving the flirtatious behavior or thinking that the therapist is always siding with the
Mhm.
boyfriend rather than her. Could just be that maybe she was in the wrong. But then
Mhm.
the therapist marrying the boyfriend, that's where I go, okay, whoa, maybe she's not misperceiving anything.
Okay, I was right. In the guidelines that I follow, it's you're
Mhm.
prohibited from doing anything uh yeah, 3-year period, but there's certain guidelines that it's kind of like, you know, being aware that like you're not going to use their stuff against them and kind of everything like that. It's kind of like just,
Mhm.
minimum
Yeah.
3 years. So technically like they just I think he was probably cheating on her with the therapist, which is probably why he chose this couple's therapist so it could like maybe accelerate the breakup in a sense, get the therapist to do dirty work.
Mhm. Oh, I considered the cheating thing, but I thought maybe they met in therapy. Like maybe he didn't even know this woman until he went there.
See, the fact that they move so quickly, and I know some people do, but just my brain, I'm like, nah. They
Mhm.
they probably met somehow, dating app, event, bar, how to manipulate your girlfriend conference, I don't know. And like I think, and then when she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a couples therapist," and he's like, "Oh, I want to leave my girlfriend," and she's like, "Well, come to me, and I can like, kind of side with you on everything and make it seem like it's her fault."
Mhm. That gives it a whole another layer of
Mm.
he went to this therapist because he was already with her.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Because if you think about the comment here, she had told me that I seemed too immature, not ready for therapy or a serious relationship. That sounds like you're not ready for a serious relationship with him because I'm already in one with him,
Mhm.
and we want you gone.
Yeah, it's also I did give a bit of a side eye at the age gap, not gonna lie.
Yeah, 25, 36. It's a big age gap.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, because like Girly Pop's brain just finished developing at age 25.
I think it's 27.
I think it's 25.
Google it.
I fucking will. So I've been telling people 25, your brain is fully developed. So what age is brain fully developed? Mid to late 20s. 25.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got the brain stops developing at 25 is a myth.
Mm.
Google's just telling us what we want to hear.
Yeah. Mine says the human brain is typically considered fully developed and matured by the mid to late 20s, with the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning, decision making, and impulse control, being one of the last parts to finish maturing. That makes sense. Often around age 25. Though I don't think a lot of people's impulse control has matured
Yeah.
by that
Also,
point. I'm just.
The Rosetta Institute, which is a .org, I don't know what they are, says the
Mhm.
brain development continues beyond teenage years and doesn't stop until around age 30.
Well, the National Institute of Health says around 25.
Everybody says something different.
Oh, God.
I don't
All
know.
right.
I've heard
Anyways,
27 and I've just assumed that was the number from now on.
I've been telling all my clients 25, so.
Yeah. Well, it's 25 now.
Mhm.
Google says so sometimes.
Google says so.
Yeah.
I also feel like I probably read it in one of my textbooks somewhere. But anyways, yeah, like that's a yes, Eli agrees. It's very
Mm,
like the age gap is giving me side eye. Listen, it's not as bad as some people's age gap. Speaking of, I got to tell you about somebody that we both know after we're done recording. We found out
okay.
she's dating somebody that's like 20 plus years her age difference. It's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
But anyways, it's just yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's very I mean, maybe they did move that fast. Maybe it was like a whirlwind thing. Maybe they're freaking divorced because they realized it was a terrible idea and she's like using her therapist powers against him, you know? So like,
Hmm.
I don't know.
So, like therapist powers, do you have to wait till you're like enrolled in like an association, or do you just get them at graduation? Is there a ceremony? Like, how do you get those?
You get your therapist powers when you get your certification from your college and
Mm,
also when you graduate from your degree. And it's
okay,
like
so
I
it's like a
bestow
level
upon you.
up.
Yeah, you get a level up. You have like a save in a game and then you level up. It's like in D&D
Hmm.
when you level up and you gain more powers.
I
Gain
wouldn't know
feats.
yet.
Not yet, but you
No,
will.
but I will.
Foreshadowing.
Well, I think we should read another one.
Yes, give me another one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling others about the family therapist firing my dad and his wife? My
Oh,
mom, oh, oh,
oh,
oh,
huh?
oh,
Huh? Okay.
oh,
Oh, was there more to the title?
no.
Okay, okay. I just that whole okay, continue.
Mhm. Okay. My mom died when I, 16, was 11. My dad remarried last year. I didn't like it and I acted up. I still don't like it, full disclosure. But I was a terror and made life hard for them. I felt like dad betrayed me and my mom by marrying again, and so fast too, but my biggest thing was that they expected her to slot right in like she was suddenly my parent too, and someone who got to make decisions for me. It was things like giving me new chores, telling me how to dress and what I should eat, where I should and shouldn't go, trying to make me explain about my homework to her and expecting to let her review it. Shit like that I hated, and I would get so mad that I'd scream at her and at dad when he backed her up. So I'd sneak out, I was rude to them, I wouldn't listen to her, and other stuff like that. My dad tried talking to me, but he talked to me before he met her too. He made promises about how it would just be us until I was ready to move out. He promised me he needed a lot of time before he could think about dating again because he loved my mom so much. Then
Mm.
he's already dating someone and they're getting married, and I was still 15 and couldn't just leave. And not only that, but he was acting like she was now my parent too. I felt like that wasn't fair. Hell, date and keep her from moving in, but they had clearly talked about how she'd be a parent once she moved in because they were on the same page with that stuff. When things were getting so bad that dad was worried I'd run away, and I had considered it, and I stayed out all night sometimes, he told us we needed family therapy. Strike one in family therapy was my dad and his wife refused the therapist's suggestion of each of us getting solo sessions too. They just wanted the group sessions.
Mm.
Strike two was the way they would talk over me when I was asked what I would be okay with or would like to see. The therapist said if me, the teen, could listen, then so could they. Strike three was dad arguing back against the therapist and his wife, calling her useless. Dad said she was not good, giving good advice and that he didn't need to consult me on who could and couldn't come into our home or help him parent me. He said he didn't care if he sounded like an ass to me, but he had decided his wife was deserving of equal respect and authority. Strike four, which was the final strike, was they refused to compromise. I already had. I stopped being so disrespectful and getting into so much trouble. I did ignore my dad's wife a lot because I couldn't handle talking to her without she talked to me, but I wouldn't go
Mhm.
anywhere without asking her to stay out all night. I didn't call her, I didn't call her, and I stopped calling her names. But they refused to discuss her not being my parent. The therapist even told her if she got them to agree, it would be reevaluated and discussed more over time, that she might end up with some parental like authority eventually. But they said she was staying my parent, they weren't willing to discuss it. They told the therapist she was meant to make me get on board with that. So the therapist told them they were wasting her time and she wouldn't see us all anymore. She did say she'd continue to see me since I worked with her, but my dad said no way, and so none of us are going back. They're pissed that she fired them. I found it hilarious. I told my friends, I told different family members, I told the neighbor who dad would tell all our shit to before, and my dad hates it. He told me I'm trying to humiliate them and it's personal business, not public. I told him if he could tell people our business, then so could I. He told me I was enjoying it too much. Then we got into another fight, but hey, I just went into my room instead of sneaking out. Dad and his wife are blaming me because dad's side of the family are giving them shit for getting fired from therapy. Am I the asshole?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Ah, so I don't do family therapy. Um,
Mm.
so I'm not sure if it's the same with couple. I also don't do couples. I just know people who do couples. So you
Mhm.
see like the couple and then you have them come for an individual session and then you see them together.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if that's like if family therapy is done the same way, which it probably would be. It sounds like it would be. You'd see the family, then you'd see people individually, then have everybody come together. Also, the fact that they're like, you're supposed to make her follow us. No, that's not what therapy's for. We don't make you do shit. Okay. Listen, if I could make people do shit, I would be out of a job. Okay. Like, if I could just make people like realize that the shit they're doing is not good for them, I would be out of a job.
Yeah.
uh, the goal of therapy is to give you the tools so you can make better decisions for yourself. We're here to support you. We're not going to do the work for you. We're not going to make you dance and, you know, make you this child love the stepmom, considering there's a whole lot of like trust stuff there with the dad, considering
Mhm.
the dad basically went back on his word and was like, oh, it's just gonna be us until it's just gonna be us until you like move out, and it's just gonna, and oh, I'm not ready to love anyone because I just loved your mother so much and just blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, everything you said was a lie, so the kid can't
Mhm.
trust anything the dad's gonna say. And I would
Yeah.
say like, I I'm not a step parent. I don't plan to be a step parent. That seems very complicated. But I don't think you should try to like replace one of the parents, whether that other parent is dead or alive. I feel like that's not a
Mhm.
good thing to kind of be like, I'm your mama now, boy.
Yeah. I have a stance of having no like, I'm not a therapist. I am a
Mhm.
family lawyer,
Yes, you
and
are.
I have been a child. So, you know, former child here.
Mhm.
Um, I personal opinion here, I don't think you should force children into things that
Mhm.
you don't have to force them into.
Mhm.
So, like, causing them extreme distress over something simple like getting their hair cut, you can compromise on that. You
Mhm.
know, compromising here could have been like the therapist was saying with the whole take away the parental authority from the wife right
Mhm.
now and it will be revisited. Like negotiating that like the kid is behaving better as a
Mhm.
compromise. And then if the wife backed off in the parenting and was just like the suggestion here was never wife moves out and gets divorced.
Mhm.
It was like, just calm down and stop trying to force your opinions and your parenting on this child. Let the dad
Yeah.
do the parenting, right? And to be determined if that goes on, just like working with somebody. You don't have to force this wife into a parental role with the child. You
Mhm.
could just try to do things gradually rather than just like, it's my way or the highway.
Mhm.
When has that worked for anybody
It
in any
has never
situation?
worked. It has never worked.
Regardless of ages, even like out with adults. If it's my way or the highway, I won't compromise. You have to do this. I'm going to force you to do what I want. That doesn't work. It doesn't work in a workplace. It doesn't work in a
Mhm.
family. It just makes people resentful and pissed off.
Mhm. Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
It's very like yeah, you can't force kids to do things. It's kind of when it's like the readiness to change, you know?
Mhm.
You can't force people to change if they're not ready to do it. You also can't force them to accept things that they don't want to accept, you know? So it's
Mhm.
very like you asking for trouble.
Yeah, and this is all tied up in grief too, right?
Mhm.
Like the
Mm.
mom has been dead for 5 years, but
Mhm.
it's his mother or her mother. We don't know the gender of the 16-year-old, but they're a teenager and their mom is dead,
Mhm.
right? Even an adult that loses their parent, that doesn't go away quickly.
Yeah.
That's a lot to work through.
Mhm. Yeah, and grief is not like linear either. It's very
Mhm.
complicated and you go through different waves of grief as well. So like you're not going to go through, people say there's the 5 stages of grief, but you're not going to go through them in order. They're going to come in waves and some days it's going to be good and like yeah, like the mom's been dead for 5 years. You still lost your mom. Like that's a
Mhm.
traumatic event. We don't know how the mom died. So that's another layer of like, was she sick? Was it like a sudden death? You know, did the rapture happen and she get raptured? Because apparently that was supposed to happen last week or something. So it's there's like a lot of other factors in play at this point. So it's kind of like, mm, but no, you're not the asshole. I think it's hilarious that I also love that the therapist called them out on their bullshit instead of just kind of doing what they want because that's like a good therapist. You're not just
Mhm.
gonna do what your client wants you to do, especially because family and couples is complicated because there is kind of gonna be like you want to see from both perspectives. You don't want to take a side, and
Mhm.
especially with like family as well. That gets complicated, especially if you have two people that are already against like one of the other people there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird little dynamic.
Mhm. The only time I deal with, like, multiple clients at once type of dynamics is when I mediate, and in that
Hmm.
position, I am there to try to move them both toward a agreement, if they can, right? So, I'm trying to get both to compromise a bit so we can get
Hmm.
close to a center
Yeah.
compromise, right?
Hmm.
So, it's a little different than this, but if I look at it from that perspective, that kid keeps moving toward the line, and then the dad and the wife are like, "No, we're staying way over here,
Mhm.
not doing anything. He
Yeah,
should
they're not
come
trying to
across this line and come to our side."
yeah, they're not trying to meet in the middle or close to the middle, which is what
Yeah.
compromising is. Like obviously there are certain things that you can't compromise on, like there are hard lines, but a lot of stuff you can compromise on,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to like kids and their feelings and everything and acknowledging the fact that yes, your mom died. That's tragic. Yes, my wife died. I think what the dad should have done instead of being like, we need to go to family therapy, is they should have sat down with the kid and had an honest conversation and asked them what's going on. Because, like I said, the dad told the kid a lot of stuff that they were going to do,
Mhm.
and then they didn't do it.
Yeah. And maybe the one-on-one conversation without the wife around
Hmm.
to just, like, do that because you know, family
Hmm.
lawyer here, but I see too often when, like, another new partner is in the picture
Hmm.
that or, like, new children come up in, like, a
Hmm.
newly formed relationship after they were separated and had children from old relationships, that,
Hmm.
like, the older kids get forgotten a little bit, and
Hmm.
they don't get the one-on-one time anymore with the parent.
Yeah.
It just ends up being, like, it's all group time with the new partner or, like, the new kids or the stepkids,
Hmm.
'cause, like, the the their bio parent in that scenario kinda has this, like, "Well, I've gotta work on rebuilding this new family unit," and
Yeah.
they're so focused on bring everyone together, make sure the new people are comfortable. They forget,
Hmm.
"Hey, the old people are having a harder time because you just
Yeah.
abandoned them a little bit."
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I love the spiteful, petty revenge part of just like, "Well, if you can tell everybody our shit, I'm telling everybody our shit."
Hmm. You can tell everybody that things suck. I'm gonna tell you that things suck.
I hope that kid's doing better though.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Mhm. Next one.
Next one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not doing the homework my husband's therapist assigned to me?
Okay.
Mhm. So,
Mhm.
my husband and I have been together for over a decade. During this time, he's been in therapy on and off. He had a hard time finding a therapist that was right for him. A few of his therapists early on encouraged him to just medicate with no regular sessions, and
Mm,
one pushed religion on him. Neither of
mm,
these worked. What he needed was someone to meet with him semi-regularly, not push their religious beliefs onto him, and instead work with him to develop appropriate strategies slash talk through issues. Whenever he told me about one of these more questionable strategies, i.e., pushing just love Jesus,
mm,
the phrasing,
mm,
I said
mhm,
I thought that
okay.
was inappropriate and he should find a better therapist and go without until then. There have been long stretches where he's gone without therapy because my husband isn't generally good at taking care of himself. That falls on me. I have to remind him to do things to keep him healthy slash taken care of. Drink water, eat more than once a day. There are literally times I have had to tell him he needs to brush his teeth. He also gets anxious making any decision on his own. I have to help him pick out new clothes, write emails to work colleagues or groups of friends. He can't make plans for us. I have to make them all. Or should I say I have to help him make the plans so then he can say he made them. He's a good person. He loves me so much, but he is so dependent on me, it's draining. I have to spend an hour at least once a week talking him through whatever crisis he's having. Sometimes this crisis is over what new collectible to buy, a collectible for him that I do not have any interest in. I finally demanded that he look into therapists again. I told him I cannot be his therapist and he cannot depend on me this much. He needs to start taking care of himself and get a therapist that will work with him to develop these skills. And he did, which is great. However, a month into therapy, he said his therapist had homework for me. I was supposed to write out a list of all his great qualities, at least a page or two. Mind you, this is after years of me carrying all of his emotional baggage, essentially mothering him, giving him credit for things I did so he could feel better about himself. And one year, I did in fact write out 100 things that I thought were great about him for a gift. I was so frustrated, I said no. I said therapy is his work, not mine, and I've spent too many years of our lives solving things for him. Wasn't fair to ask me to sit down and do this homework when the point of his therapy was for him to build his own skills without depending on me all the time. He was upset but accepted it, and he said he understood. Well, just the other day, he told me that his therapist doesn't like me and thinks I should be thanking and showing him appreciation more. I told him I didn't care what his therapist thought. They are his therapist. That does have me thinking, though. Am I the asshole for not doing the homework his therapist assigned to me?
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Well, my first question to you
Mhm.
is, have you ever assigned your client's partner homework from a therapy session that wasn't
No.
involved in the session, like didn't show up for it?
No,
No,
because that's not something that I think about.
I've I've never heard of somebody going to therapy and bringing home homework for somebody else that wasn't in the therapy session.
Yeah, I just
Like I've never come home from school as a kid and was like, "Mom,
hmm.
the teacher assigned you homework now. They said
Yeah,
I got the
so
night off, but you got to do these math
you
problems."
gotta do homework. So what I've done is I've it's something that, I if I give clients homework, because I do give them homework, I will say kind of maybe this is something that you can discuss with your partner and see if they're interested in also doing it. The big one is kind of like love languages or attachment styles.
Mhm.
Or if another one is if someone comes in and they've recently got like a diagnosis of like whether it's ADHD or any other type of mental health issue, just kind of
Mhm.
being like maybe this is something they can research together, like, and kind of putting the onus on them to have the conversation with their partner if they want. But I'm not sitting and like here being like I want your partner to write a list of all the ways that they can help you manage your thing. It's like, no, they're not responsible for helping you manage your
Mhm.
stuff. They can support you, but you're responsible for managing your own stuff.
Yeah. You know what my first thing that came to my head when we finished this was?
Mhm.
It was, what is he telling his therapist? Because the way
Mm.
she's saying is that she's had to basically mother him and support him and be his crutch for years, and then
Mhm.
his therapist is going and saying, like, she should be thanking and showing him more appreciation.
Mhm.
So, I think, like, my gut is I don't think the husband is telling the therapist the accurate depiction of events, because nobody wants to tell people that they struggle with a whole bunch of stuff that is like
Mhm.
basic daily living stuff. People get really like embarrassed when they can't do that. Like I struggle with cooking. I get really frustrated and overwhelmed with it. And sometimes I just can't do it and I get really embarrassed by that.
Mhm.
And like the instinct to like lie to people about those things to make it seem like you can handle your shit,
Mhm.
because a thing that you should be able to do with air quotes without help, even a therapist might be so ingrained in him, because if you look at what she said that like he makes her help him with this stuff so he can take credit.
Mhm.
So I think he's just taking credit to the therapist rather than admit that he struggles with this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, like, out of, like, maliciousness that he would do that stuff. I
Mhm.
think it's out of embarrassment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, cuz again it comes like I yeah, I wonder what he's telling his therapist. How's he spinning it? Like maybe he spun it in a way where it's like, "Oh, she's not willing." Maybe he spun it in a way that's like she's not willing to do this thing for me and making it and maybe not telling of all the other times that she has done a lot for him, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. I wouldn't say she's the asshole. I think I would say everyone sucks here.
Yeah, I can see that. Reddit says she's not the a-hole.
Interesting.
Yeah, Reddit seems to the it seems Reddit always seems to go to, "Break up with him! Just kick him
Yeah.
to the curb!
Yeah.
Everybody sucks! You're amazing! Tell people to fuck off!" Right?
Mhm.
So it's a little, like, uh, not balanced
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's not.
I don't think she's an asshole, if we have to go just by asshole or not asshole. I don't
Mhm.
think she's an asshole, but
No, I don't think she's an asshole.
I get the reaction of like, "Really? I've been doing all this and now you bring this to me? I'm just
Mhm.
gonna have like a, 'No, I'm not fucking doing anything.'" Right?
I also one question that comes up for me is because she's been supporting him and helping him kind of, do a lot of stuff. I wonder if she's gone to therapy to talk about her frustrations with it.
Oh, I think she needs it.
Yeah, because it seems she has a lot of like resentment towards him.
Mhm,
It's how it's coming across. And it seems like she needs to, there's probably some issues that she hasn't dealt with as well.
mhm.
Because it's not easy when your loved one is struggling with that kind of stuff. And like, I think people kind of forget that mental health affects everyone around us, not just like it affects the person, but it also impacts those around us. Because like, if you see your loved one struggling, like, you're gonna feel like helpless that you can't really help them, especially if it's something like depression or personality disorder.
Mhm.
Um, so it's just, yeah, I think she could use some therapy.
Yeah, I think everybody could benefit from some therapy in this
Yeah.
situation and in general, you know? Go to
Hmm.
therapy. Therapy's
Go to
great.
therapy.
Yeah.
Listen,
You need to work on your shit.
even if you don't think you have like something to work on, that's okay. You could just come and there could be like little things that you want to talk about. It could just be to have like an impartial third party's view on a situation that you're in. Maybe you're having some
Mhm.
roommate issues, maybe it's a work thing you're struggling with.
Yeah. Even if you don't have, letters after your name that you didn't earn and you just inherited, you could benefit from some therapy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everybody could benefit from at least having someone to talk to who's not there to judge, who you could say anything under the sun about, because
Hmm.
everybody gets pissed off at their partner or family
Hmm.
members or friends. And if you don't have someone that you could just go and be like, "Oh, I'm in such a fucking bad mood," and blah, 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 and all this,
Hmm.
without having to watch what you're saying because you don't want to hurt somebody, because your therapist
Hmm.
isn't emotionally invested in what's going on, right? And then maybe
Yeah.
they can just give you some perspective on that.
Hmm.
Mhm,
Because it's also not healthy to hold everything in. And the other thing is, you're like, oh, well, I can talk to my friends. Yes, you can talk to your
mhm,
friends. Your friends have an inherent bias because
mhm,
if you talk to them about, your partner, like if I came to you and was like, ah, Khan did this and Khan did that, and he's blah 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 blah, you're obviously going to take my side in it. You're not going to be like, oh no, you're in the wrong. You're going to be like, yeah, con fucking sucks, like.
Yeah. Yeah. I might most of the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Unless I'm being absolutely ridiculous about something, then you have but you already know this.
I mean, if I did think you were in the wrong, I would back you up in public and then in private, like, be like,
Mhm.
"Okay, hold on. I think you kinda screwed up a little bit." You know?
Exactly.
Like, maybe we shouldn't have backed over them with our car, just to let you know.
I don't think I think, backing over them once was okay, but the second back over was a little much.
Like, the 17th was definitely not, like,
That was
accidental,
overkill, and
okay?
they're, like, smooshed?
You know? And, like, sometimes when you're venting to certain people, you have to watch what you say because you don't want to, like, trigger them if they have triggers
Mhm.
or, like, hit on things, or sometimes you just can't talk to them because 'cause they're going through something themselves, and you don't wanna
Mhm.
pile on, right? Like, if somebody has, like, a big test coming up or,
Mhm.
like, something really stressful at work or, like, a big presentation they're preparing for or something, you're like, "Oh, I can't talk to them about my issue because 'cause they're already
Mhm.
really focused on that. They don't have time to, like, be my, like, shoulder to cry on here."
Mhm.
Right? So you've got that situation of, like, trying to be considerate while also
Yeah.
meeting somebody. But you know who doesn't have that problem? Your therapist, because you're paying them to care. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
So, you
it's
know,
just
they're
yeah.
there. You're booking the time slot to talk to them for the purpose
Mhm.
of you're not gonna probably be talking about great things with them, like, "I just won the lottery and I wanted to tell my therapist."
Mhm.
It's the same thing with lawyers, no one calls us for good things.
Yeah.
I saw a lady today actually for a will, and I always joke with people that, like, nobody calls lawyers for good things, like, nobody just picks up the phone like, "I just won the lottery, I gotta call a
Mhm.
lawyer." And so she's like, "If I ever win the lottery, I'm calling you first." So this elderly lady is just gonna call me if she ever wins the lottery.
That's amazing.
Yeah, God love her.
I mean, I will say I did have during my placement, I did have a, client who would if she would email to kind of be like, "Oh, I can't make our session," she would also throw in like some good news as well. So she'd be like, "I've been doing a lot of this and it's been working." And I've been like, "What would Rachel do? Or what would Rachel say?" Or something like that. So, it does happen. But yeah, most of the time when people come to us, they're kind of like, I need to figure my shit out. And I'm at the point where other people are like, you need to figure your shit out.
Mhm. Yeah, good news and compliments are great, but they're few
Hmm.
and far between in my job anyway.
Yeah.
Well, good news, we have 2 more stories.
Let's go.
I'm saving my favorite for the end.
Okay.
So this is another surprise one that I haven't read anything except the title.
Okay.
Am I the
So we're gonna be
asshole?
reacting together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
except you rudely cut me off. Oh my god.
So I'm sorry.
We need therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, am I the asshole for reminding my brother he chose his son's therapist and he needs to stop blaming me when I'm helping him? I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Huh. Okay.
The title really gave me nothing.
Yeah, the title is like not giving me anything. I'm very confused.
Okay. My 13-year-old nephew came to live with me in December. This is a temporary, but we're not sure how long he'll be here arrangement. My husband and I will keep him for long as it takes, but I'll be honest, I could see him staying for years. The reason he's here is because he's full of anger about his dad, who's my older brother, who got remarried 18 months ago, my nephew has felt like his dad's stepkids get more of his time and attention and love than him, and it has turned into hatred for his step siblings, who are 5 and 6. And in December, he unleashed all that anger on the kids and yelled at them. He told them he hated them, he wished they'd die so he could have his dad back, and any number of things. My brother had taken his focus off his son a lot after remarrying and was shocked by the outburst, and calming my nephew took hours because he yelled at his dad when he was finished yelling at the kids. My sister-in-law attempted to step in, but my nephew yelled at her and then went back to yelling at his dad. It was the first time my brother realized his son was angry. Ooh, first time?
Mm. Okay.
First time is screaming at a 5-year-old? Really?
First time? Yeah.
That's when the dad noticed? Jeez.
Yep.
I hadn't seen them since my brother's wedding, but it was a big change. My nephew had mixed emotions on the day of the wedding, and we talked about it, but he wasn't angry. But in the months that followed, that anger became a concern. My brother didn't see it. After talking to my nephew when he was calmer, he realized more outbursts were going to happen, which led him to reaching out and asking me if my husband and I could let my nephew stay for a while. He was honest that he didn't know how long, but he didn't want to send his stepkids packing and didn't want my nephew to feel like this was the end of the marriage and it would be back to just the two of them, so he didn't want to move out with him. I told him assuming he arranged for therapy and everything else, that was fine. My brother sends a weekly amount to cover expenses for my nephew. My brother set up a therapist for him where I live. We're a couple of hours from each other, and my nephew is doing school virtually right now. My brother drives out to see him once a week and joins him for therapy some weeks, but he's not happy with what the therapist is saying, which seems to be a theme with these stories.
It does, yeah.
He confronted me on it and was trying to blame me for the choice of therapist and because therapy wasn't a quick fix. He told me what good is it doing if he's here and with a therapist and we're not helping? He asked what sort of therapist I was bringing him to. Those were the kind of comments. I reminded him he chose the therapist and I was helping him, so he needed to stop blaming me. My brother told me there wasn't another option, as much as others might disagree, which makes me think the therapist suggested something he disagreed with. But my brother left angry, and he called me a couple of days later and told me I don't need to turn on him when he doesn't have a fucking clue what to do, and he's still coming to terms with the fact that his son hates him and hates innocent kids who did nothing wrong. Am I the hassle?
Hmm. No.
Also, there's no verdict.
Really?
Yeah. It's from 7 months ago, so I thought there should be a verdict.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on.
There's a lot. There's a lot of
There's a
characters,
Yeah.
not a lot of character development.
No. But there's a lot going on. So kind of one thing that I've learned through all of my knowledge and the knowledge that has been imparted on me by the therapy
Magically.
gods
Hmm.
is anger is always a secondary emotion.
Hmm.
So basically, what that means is there's something underneath the anger, a primary emotion,
Hmm.
but anger is the only way that people know how to express because they might not be familiar with different terms. So there's like a feeling wheel that you can look at and kind of be like, oh, maybe I feel this, maybe I feel that. But anger is always secondary. So
Rachel,
I
I'm learning
think
so much.
I know. You can tell I've had this conversation a lot with about anger.
Yeah.
um,
I've heard the feelings wheel. I've been
mhm,
given the feelings wheel in therapy.
mhm,
But the whole anger is a secondary emotion thing, light bulb
mhm.
moment for me.
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It's always a secondary one. So, like for this kid, for example, he's lashing out because that's the only way he can kind of express himself. But
Mhm.
there's something underneath that. So obviously there's a sense, like you said, his dad is kind of, you know, tossed him aside, like we spoke about in the last one,
Mhm.
kind of that aspect. And also the fact that his dad didn't notice the behavior, which definitely shows like he's not paying super attention to his kid. yes, he has stepkids that he has to like account, but like that's your biological kid,
Mhm.
you know, and there's an age gap between the kid and the step siblings, you know, so that's a factor as well. The kid's a teenager, so hormones are all over the place. We don't know what's happening with the mom, like the kid's mom, because she's not mentioned in the story. So again, don't know if mom's in the picture. Maybe there's some abandonment stuff. Maybe the mom's dead again. Um, you know, so it's very there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things we don't know. But what we do know is the fact that the dad was more concerned about the stepkids and keeping them in the house instead of his own kid. It really says a lot about him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, I think, like the way it's phrased, that the dad didn't want the son to think that things were going backwards and the marriage was ending,
Mhm.
like, that is a valid point, because you don't want the kid to think, "Well, you threw this tantrum," type of behavior,
Mhm.
and then you got your way, right?
Yeah.
But that's looking at it from a very, like, just the looking at it like an isolated incident
Mhm.
for the angry blow up at everybody, rather than
Yeah.
think, like, it's coming from something that's
Mhm.
not just from that one day, it's many, many days of feeling
Mhm.
that way that led to this boiling over,
Yeah.
where he just couldn't keep it in anymore,
Yeah.
and
And it
yeah.
kind of sounds like the kid never really got the chance to kind of express a lot of these feelings because for something to blow up like that, it means that there's no outlet for them. It means they don't feel the big thing is don't feel safe or secure enough to kind of have these conversations with people.
Mhm,
So, like a balloon, this is another one I use a lot. If you keep putting air into the balloon, eventually you're going to get to the point where it's going to pop.
mhm,
And it could pop from the tiniest thing, or somebody could say something small. Like maybe the step sibling looked at him the wrong way, and that set him off.
yeah, because stepped on one of the kids' Legos,
Hmm.
and all of a
Which
sudden
hurts.
it was blew up.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's really telling for me is that the the poster is saying that 18 months before this post, when the marriage happened, she was at the wedding and talked to the nephew, and he wasn't happy about it.
Hmm.
Like, he had mixed emotions on the wedding day, but he wasn't angry. 18
Hmm.
months later, he's very angry. And we don't know how long he's been. It says he came to live with them in December, and this was 7 months ago, which would have been, like,
Hmm.
March-ish? So this is, like,
Yeah.
3 or 4 months into the living with the new living with
Hmm.
the aunt, right?
Yeah.
So, at that stage, he'd had, let's say, 14 months, so over a year of living with the stepmom, stepkids, and the dad
Hmm.
in this house.
Hmm.
And, that's a lot of time to go from mixed emotions, not angry, to enraged,
Hmm.
right? So that's potentially, if we think all of that time was leading up to this, of he was kind of ignored for all of that time, and potentially before, because if he has mixed emotions before,
Hmm.
obviously it wasn't going well at that point.
Yeah. Like he
I
was
would
already
like,
feeling these
yeah,
things before they got married.
mhm, yeah, he wasn't on board.
Hmm.
He was mixed emotion, and now like that, which to me, like, you've got a 5 and a 6-year-old, they're gonna require more attention than a
Hmm.
13-year-old, just for the fact that a 13-year-old doesn't have to be monitored as closely.
Yeah.
They can take care of some things for
Hmm.
themselves. whereas a 5 and 6-year-old are way less independent. So
Yeah.
already you're gonna have like a time split there that's not going to be balanced. And
Mhm.
if you don't do extra to make that 13-year-old feel like they're getting the attention,
Mhm.
you're gonna have this feel it's gonna be way, way, way off kilter.
Yeah. You're not having, like, just alone time where it's just, like, the dad and the kid, then yeah,
Mhm.
they're not gonna feel important, they're gonna feel pushed aside, they're gonna feel that their younger siblings are more important or that they have more value than them, and we also don't know how the stepmom has been treating him.
We don't. The stepmom, the only time she's mentioned is when they say that she is tempted to step in on the day of the blow up,
Mhm.
and the nephew just yelled at her too
Yeah.
until he went back to yelling at his dad.
Mhm.
But his anger seems to be focused on his dad and his and even more like his step siblings,
Mhm.
according to this post.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more of a time hog situation and like no attention to him.
Yeah. And maybe there was times where he tried to get his dad to like, "Hey, we should do this together. We should do that." And maybe the dad has kept blowing him off for the step siblings.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think the poster is an asshole.
No.
No, I
I
think
mean, they didn't pick the
everybody's struggling.
therapist, obviously. The
Yeah,
dad did.
and I want to speculate about what we think that therapist is saying that pissed his dad off so much.
I think the therapist, if I'm go I think the therapist probably called the dad out on, like, probably some discrepancies or maybe challenge the dad because those are, like, some ways that, if somebody says something to you, like, if they're talking about, "Oh, this thing just hurts so much, blah, blah, blah," but they're smiling, you can be like, "You're talking about how this I noticed you're talking
Mhm.
about how this hurt you, however, you're smiling. Can you, like, explain this to me?" type thing.
Yeah, emotional incongruent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even, like, challenging, like, he could be like, "Okay, you're putting all this effort into your son and, like, into your stepkids and stuff. What effort are you putting into your son?" And, like, that could be, like, kind of a way to point out that stuff because some people need to be challenged on stuff, and I feel like this dad is one, and he's not happy about being challenged and probably
Mhm.
feeling questioned about his parenting choices as well, maybe.
Yeah. I also wonder if there was a suggestion from the therapist for the dad to spend time one-on-one and potentially even, like, come stay for a period of time with with
Mm.
the son at the sister's house to
Yeah.
spend part-time in, like, both locations to,
Mhm.
almost like as a build up, almost like an ease back to work type of program, but like an ease
Yeah.
back to getting the kid to go back with you
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm not gonna go over
Mhm.
there, he should come to me," kinda thing.
Yeah, why should I have to put effort when he's the one
Mhm.
who had the blow up? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Or that, like, whole mentality of, like, well, just force your kids to figure it out,
Mhm.
right? Like, just make them, like,
Yeah.
fix them,
Yeah. "You're supposed to fix
right?
my kid. Fix them." It's
Yeah.
like, "Nar.
Nar,
Nar."
not how it works.
It's not.
Okay, you ready for the last story?
My body is ready.
Okay. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my girlfriend after therapy backfired? I've read this
Okay.
one. Pretty
Okay.
general title. Plot twist incoming.
Okay.
Okay, so the poster is a 28-year-old male,
Mhm.
has a girlfriend named Emma, who's 27-year-old female.
Mhm.
They've been together for 6 years. For most of that
Mhm.
time, we've been happy, like really happy. The kind of relationship people say just works, you know? We were
Mhm.
always on the same page, rarely fought, and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. But over the past year, things started to feel different. Small arguments here and there, more miscommunication, and just the weird sense that we weren't as in sync as we used to be. It
Mhm.
wasn't anything major, just the usual wear and tear stuff, or so I thought. Emma, however, seemed to be more concerned. She started pointing out issues I wasn't even aware of, like how I supposedly wasn't listening enough or wasn't as emotionally available as I used to be. I admit I've been busy with work, but I thought we were doing okay. Still, I didn't want to dismiss her feelings. Then, about 6 months ago, oh, long tongue tied. I've been talking a lot today, okay?
That's fair.
Then, about 6 months ago, she suggested we go to couples therapy. I can't say she suggested very well. It's
She
too many S's.
suggested. It is too many
She
S's.
suggested.
See,
It's too
she she suggested.
It's hard. It's like the she sells seashells by the seashore, but I
Yeah, it
can say
is.
that fine.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I've always been a bit skeptical, but I I can't can't talk today.
I've always been a bit.
God damn it. God damn it. Okay. Now I've always been a bit skeptical about therapy unless things are really bad, but I agreed
Mhm.
because I figured it couldn't hurt. She
Mhm.
said she found a great therapist through a friend and we should give it a try. I wasn't familiar with this Lily, but Emma was excited about it, so we booked our first session. At
Mhm.
first, the session seemed fine. Like, Lily asked good questions, got us to open up, and gave us some tools to communicate better. I felt like I was doing my best to listen and improve, but something about it felt a little off. Every time we talked about any issue, it seemed like Lily was always subtly siding with
Subtly.
Emma.
Mhm.
Oh, this is a story. The worst part of the story is I can't fucking talk. If I mentioned being stressed from work, she'd steer the conversation towards how I wasn't giving enough attention to Emma. If I brought up a disagreement, somehow it became about my communication issues. After a few weeks, Emma started using phrases like, Lily thinks you should try this, or Lily says you need to work on that. Felt like everything I did was being scrutinized and dissected by this woman I barely knew. I didn't want to be paranoid, but it seemed like Lily was slowly convincing Emma that I was the problem in the relationship, and every time I tried to voice my own concerns, they were brushed aside. I tried to push
Mhm.
through it, thinking maybe I was just being defensive, but it didn't stop. Every session, the same dynamic. It was like Lily was planting seeds of doubt in Emma's head, and Emma was running with them. I even started to wonder if maybe I was the problem. Was I actually this bad of a partner? Things reached a boiling point a couple of weeks ago. During a session, Lily started suggesting that maybe we should consider a break so I could work on myself more. That felt like a slap in the face. I've been trying so hard to be better, and now she was suggesting that we split up. I looked at Emma, waiting for her to disagree or defend me, but she just sat there, quietly nodding along. After that session, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I blew up at Emma when we got home. I told her I didn't trust Lily's judgment, that it felt like she was just feeding Emma reasons to blame me for everything wrong in the relationship. Emma got defensive, saying I was overreacting, that Lily was just trying to help us work through our issues. We didn't talk for a few days, and I started feeling guilty for snapping. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe therapy really was exposing some flaws I needed to work on. But then something happened that blew everything wide open. Last week, we went to a mutual friend's party. While there, I overheard Emma and her friend Sarah talking in the corner, giggling about something. I caught just a bit of their conversation. I can't believe you pulled it off for this long. Poor guy still thinks she's an actual therapist. I immediately confronted them. And that's when Emma's face turned pale. Sarah quickly tried to backtrack, but the truth spilled out. Turned out, Lily isn't a licensed therapist at all. She's one of Emma's close friends from college who thought it would be fun to help Emma fix me by posing as a therapist. Emma had set this whole thing up because she thought I wouldn't agree to therapy otherwise. They figured that with Lily playing the part, they could guide me into becoming a better boyfriend without me knowing. I felt completely betrayed. For months, I had been spilling my heart out to someone who wasn't even qualified to help, and Emma had been in on it the whole time. All those sessions where I felt attacked and manipulated suddenly made sense because I was being manipulated. When I confronted Emma about how messed up this was, she broke down, saying she never meant to hurt me and she just wanted to help us grow as a couple. But honestly, I don't know how to move past this. I haven't been able to look at her the same since. Now, Emma and her friends are saying I overreacted, that it was just a white lie meant to help our relationship. But I feel like I've been gaslit and lied to for months. So, am I the asshole for blowing up at my girlfriend when I found out our therapist was a total fraud?
No.
Mm
No, because what the fuck? Because here's the thing. You need to have training and you're being trusted in a position, you're in a position of power. There's a power imbalance between a therapist and a client, same with a lawyer and a client, and they're trusting you. And it's like you're spilling your secrets to this person who's not even licensed. And how do you know she's not running off and like telling her other friends, you know? And also, that's illegal if she's using any like actual designation after her name. Like if she's got some fancy initials that she just dubbed on herself, like that's illegal. You're impersonating a profession. Like,
hmm. Mm hmm.
fucking, I would sue her personally. That's just my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Sue the shit out of her. But you could
Hmm.
also sue the fucking girlfriend.
Oh, I would sue the girlfriend too. I would sue everybody.
Mm hmm. Because how fucked up is that? To go with your friend and be like, okay, like if I, but you're a real therapist. If I was just like,
Hmm.
Rachel, I'm gonna
Hmm.
bring my boyfriend to a couple
Hmm.
therapy counseling session with you, and you're just going to agree with everything I say, and we're gonna make him better by
Hmm.
fixing all the issues I want you to fix about him by manipulating him into it. That's fucked up.
Yeah. And then the other thing, like they're paying her, so they're giving this friend money.
Right? Like, how did he not figure out it was fake unless they were actually paying as if it was real? So,
I mean, that's what I'm wondering. If
yeah.
she's got like if she's giving them an invoice, the invoice would have her name, her license number with her
Mhm.
designation, and it would say like couples session, 50 minutes, say $160.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, either the girlfriend is like, "Oh, it's covered on my insurance. Don't worry about it," or something. Like, so that he never sees that, or he's seeing them pay this Lily, and maybe Lily and Emma are pocketing it half and half,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you're gonna set up this, like, weird operation, you think you're gonna get a kickback too. You're not just
I
gonna let
mean,
him pay all his money to to Lily.
yeah, I
Yeah, I don't
mean,
know, I
well,
just cast another character, Emily.
you did, yeah.
It's a wild story, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I saved it for the end. I thought this one, the twist,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the title is just like, "Am I the asshole for blowing up at my girlfriend after therapy backfired?" Which sounds like just relationship problems, run of
Mm-hmm.
the mill. But
It
no.
sounds like maybe because sometimes I think what can happen is say you're seeing a therapist and you want to like start couples and you think, oh, I'll just go to the therapist I'm seeing.
Mhm.
No, don't do that
I don't
because
know if that would be
they,
even allowed, right?
it's not allowed.
Yeah.
But like, or maybe they just pick a therapist that like um they feel would align with what they want. Like they want somebody that's going to be like, yeah, your boyfriend sucks.
Yeah,
So
people want to
it's
win
very,
therapy.
yeah, you can't win therapy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You can't win
I'm still
therapy.
trying.
I know you are, but you can't. You
Yeah.
can't win it. You gotta
But
stop.
I'm playing single player, you know?
Hmm. But you gotta
I'm
stop. You
not
can't
gonna
win
go try
therapy.
to win multiplayer therapy.
Multiplayer therapy.
That's what counseling is, right?
Yeah, yeah. As a couples and family is this multiplayer.
Yeah, you know,
Hmm.
I'm gonna master single player therapy before I move on to multiplayer therapy.
You can't win it, okay? You're gonna be
I,
trying for a long time.
I'm gonna try.
I know you are.
Yeah, I think I'm almost there, okay?
Hmm.
I've
Okay,
been
sure.
leveling up a lot.
That's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with these analogies.
Okay. I don't know. You're
Sometimes
going somewhere.
I'm too I'm too into the bit that I've lost track of what the bit is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's happened
Yeah,
before where we both gotten too into the bit and we're like, where are we going with this? Where how did we
yeah,
start? Where did we get here? It's like a
yeah.
deep dive.
What do we even mean when we're
Hmm.
saying these things? Because I
What
don't
even
remember.
is a bit?
Yeah, and like if it's a small bit, is it only like a bit?
God damn it.
Come on, I hadn't gotten you with one like that today. I
I
had
hate
to
it.
throw it in.
I hate it. I hate it here. This is the end of the podcast. This is the last episode. We're ending this podcast.
My favorite jokes I make to you are the ones that just get you to have reluctant laughter, that you can't help it, but you don't want to laugh. Those
No,
are
I
my
don't.
favorite.
I don't like laughing. It's the same thing with Khan when he tells a stupid dad joke.
Yeah, well, dad jokes are stupid.
Hmm.
So are men.
Yet we both have one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but boys are dumb.
There. Ah, people are dumb.
People are dumb.
Hmm.
I have had too much peopling this week. I'm very excited that tomorrow is just like a paperwork, not have to talk to people day.
Mm.
But someone will have a crisis and it'll become a peopling day. It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best
Yeah.
kind of people are the ones I make up and
Exactly.
write in a book.
Just like The Lost Lamb, which is out now for purchase. It's the sequel to The Toy Maker. I got the privilege of reading the manuscript before it became public,
Hmm.
and let me just tell you, it's some good shit.
Some mysteries, some
Some
answers to
mysteries,
questions,
answers,
some
more
more questions.
questions, me yelling at Melanie for stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can get it, read it,
Hmm.
all the
Get it,
things.
read it, post reviews about it,
Share it with your friends. Read it to your friends. Read it as a bedtime
quote it to
story.
your friends.
Quote
Get
it
the
to your friends.
merch that's now
Yeah,
available on
there's merch for it.
melaanieflynnbooks.com.
Just get all the things.
All the things. And if you decide that you want some podcast merch, we're going to be
Hmm.
making podcast merch in the future. So,
Hmm.
comment and email and let us know in some form. Send up a smoke signal of what you would like in merch.
Yeah, you
You
can
want a shirt
message
that
us.
says, "Where's my yogurt?" Let us know.
I can't find my yogurt.
I feel like an idiot.
I feel like an idiot. Do you want merch that says "In Charles Darwin We Trust"?
I think we have to do that one.
Do you want a ball cap with our logo on it? Do you want one
Hmm.
with yogurt on it? A thing of a
Yeah.
sad yogurt container.
Do you want some comment about how many rats you're allowed to have in
Mhm.
certain areas on a shirt?
Yeah. Yeah.
A mug? How
Mhm.
many rats is too many rats for this mug?
Exactly.
Hopefully 0, because you don't want rats in your coffee mug.
Unless you're taking unless you have a pet rat and you're taking, like, a cute picture of it in the mug without the coffee or tea or beverage of
I was
choice
gonna
in it.
say, no beverages in it then.
No.
You don't want to harm the little rat. Little
No.
ratatouille.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing that. If you have merch ideas, maybe something you want to see, something we've said, you can find us on Instagram, Inconsistent Podcast One, Facebook, inconsistently consistent. You can email us some ideas, inconsistentpodcast1@gmail.com. And all the stuff is also on melanieflynnbooks.com with all the podcast links. Yeah,
Mhm.
if you want to just see what I'm doing for whatever reason, um, you can find me on TikTok. I changed it again so it matched my Twitch. It's Rhaenyra with an extra A at the end. If you're also interested in like D&D and maybe also watching somebody suffer through the 100 baby challenge, you can check me out when I stream on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Rhaenyra, 1A at the end. We moved our D&D days. We're going to be streaming them Saturday now instead of
Oh,
Tuesday.
yeah. And if you want to find me, all of my links are on melanieflynnbooks.com. But if you want to follow my Instagram, I will for once actually say the name of it, which is at Melanie, Melanie 427. Follow me. Read
Yeah,
the books. Tell me what you think about them. Post a review.
do it.
And if you're really good, maybe you'll get to hear another episode of this podcast
Maybe
where there
you
might
will.
be a little D&D content.
Hmm.
Yeah, little foreshadowing, little spoiler.
Just a little taste, a little edgy, you know.
A little edging.
A little edgy.
That's what we do here at Inconsistently Consistent. We edge you through your ear holes. I also like
Yeah.
when I can just make you sigh. And Melanie. These are my
Pretty much.
goals in life.
Yeah. She gets
Publish
great
book,
joy.
exhaust Rachel.
Pretty much.
And I've done twice. I've done both of those things in the same day.
You have.
What will I do tomorrow? Tune into the next episode to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Tune in how she's gonna make me sigh even more.
Because you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy
Be
about it.
happy about it.
As Ron Weasley would say.
Yeah.
Okay, bye!
Okay, bye.
It's the longest outro I think we've ever done.
I think it is, yeah.